Brother, I'm going run a wild Hulk Hogan. If I like get some moment, I'll make sure it's an explosion. Cause lately I've been seeing stars, trying to kick out on this chokehold. But it's no holds barred, middle fingers like I'm Stone Cold.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? This is another episode of the Slapping Me Wrestling Podcast. I'm WeTooDeep. That's DJ Wavy D.
Yeah.
The better of the LA Knight Nomkin. But that's foreshadowing. We are going to ask a question here later in the episode about LA Knight at towards the end. We got to talk about these IWC fans here trying to cancel our tribal chief. We'll talk about that here in a minute. We're going to give our thoughts on the current Hall of Fame class. We got some AEW discussions we have to talk about. That Gauntlet match, Wavy D's favorite match of all time.
Yeah.
We gotta react to that. But before we jump into that, we gotta get cooking. We got to start cooking here. We didn't do it last week because we did the response video, but we're back on it. Before we jump into that, though, that QR code still at the bottom of the screen. Go buy your merchandise. LA Knight just got a new shirt out.
Yeah.
The Rock still has his shirt out.
Yeah.
Roman Reigns still has his merch out. Who are you going to support in the brotherly feud of Jay and Jimmy Uso? Go buy your merch there.
Yeet.
I mean, it's all about the yeet over here. I don't know. I don't care about who wins that match. That match better be a fucking banger. But first, let's get cooking. So we're going to use my idea from last Friday's episode where I said that the U.S. title match should be the 6-pack ladder match. Now, last night kind of fucked up this whole idea here. I wrote this segment down on Saturday. So we're going to do the U.S. title thing first. But then we're going to talk about this tag team 6-pack ladder that we got as well. But using the 6 superstars I listed on Friday in that U.S. title 6-pack ladder match, who wins and what's the next story? To remind everyone, the 6 competitors, Logan Paul, AJ Styles, LA Knight, Randy Orton, Kevin Owens, and Braun Breaker. Who would you have win, and what's the next story?
So, like, if they're hypothetically still in the ladder match?
Right. Hypothetically, if it was still a ladder match.
I would put the title on Braun Breaker. I let him kind of, kick off the. I guess you would kind of look at it as a school year almost. The school year goes from September to June or whatever. Well, the wrestling season goes from April until April. It's not January to December. It's April to April.
Right. And
so essentially, I would start Braun, this year around, this season around, start him off hot. All right, I'll give him the U.S. title. Let him get cooking. See if he connects with the crowd before you launch him into a world title picture. Or you keep the title on Logan Paul. Let him let him hold it over in France and over in the Saudi event. That way you get more eyes on it because Logan Paul. We could touch on a little bit. My man's big time now. He's the official drink of Is it the whole NBA or just the Lakers?
I think it's just the Lakers.
He's the official hydration drink of the Lakers. Shout out Logan Paul, you know what I'm saying? Drink Prime. Not sponsored by the way, but I like the product. I like the product a lot.
Yeah.
Especially the energy drinks. But yes, I think the two options are you put the title on Braun Breaker, you know what I'm saying? You see what the young man can do, let him go crazy. Or you keep it on Logan Paul, keep the marquee name as you go into your international shows.
You were thinking exactly what I was thinking. There's two ways. You put it on Braun Breaker, and you start, as we're starting to crumble the bloodline, Paul Heyman's got to leave somehow. Well, he finds his way with the new protege and Braun Breaker, who's now, I would just have him go, beat everyone in that mid-card division. You have 6-7 different opponents. 6-7 different matches on PLEs that he can beat, set him up for a decent run, which could set him up for a world title opportunity some point next year. However, in terms of like story, I booked it this way. So we just had on Raw, was it this Monday or last Monday, KSI took an RKO. Was it this past Monday?
No, it was on SmackDown Friday.
It was on SmackDown Friday. That's what it was. I knew it was recently. KSI took that RKO. So I have a feeling he's going to play in with these.
Especially Mania, yeah.
Right. And so what I would have is at Mania, I would have Logan Paul, Randy Orton at the top of the ladder battling like we have all the spots all the time. And then KSI comes up and, to try to help Logan, and in response gets RKO'd off the ladder. That spot's going to happen if they're in a ladder. So I'd have KSI take it. Logan Paul then retains the title, which sets up Backlash in France. Logan Paul versus Randy Orton again. KSI again gets involved, takes another RKO. Then we get the Saudi. Well, he's tired of getting RKO'd all the time and put through tables. So then you set up the turn. KSI turns on Logan Paul. The next big event is Money in the Bank. We don't necessarily need anything with the U.S. title there. The next event after that, though, SummerSlam.
Wait, isn't Money in the Bank also overseas? That's in what, London?
It's in Canada.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, and then it's SummerSlam, I believe. No, we may have one in July, like one of the smaller ones.
No, I think you're right. Doesn't it go?
Yeah, because it's August 3rd. August 3rd is SummerSlam. So it's
because Bash of Berlin is right after SummerSlam.
Yeah. So SummerSlam's the next one in Cleveland. Logan Paul versus KSI.
In Logan's hometown.
Logan can win. And then it's Bash at Berlin. Another big show. Logan could lose it then. But, there's...
So you got Logan holding the title all the way till Bash at Berlin in your...
Yeah. I think... there's no reason you have him promote SummerSlam if he's not going to be there with the title. So,
well, what if KSI costs Logan the title and then Logan and KSI just have a grudge match? Because you're going with the title on KSI, and then you might have Logan take a break until we go back around for next Mania or next Royal Rumble.
Right, you're not wrong there. I'd like to see them do like I know people hate the idea of like boxing in WWE, but KSI and Logan doing like a celebrity boxing match, they're fake as fuck anyway. I don't know if you've ever seen the celebrity boxing shit, but like, I don't know, that would be pretty cool to have that happen. But doesn't matter because that's not going to be a match anyway. Because our 6-pack ladder match is this tag team match that got announced. Hey, your man Adam Pearce, he finally did his job for once.
Yo, Adam Pearce always does his job. I told you, he has a lot of challenges and a lot of obstacles.
It just took Nick Aldis coming to Raw to get shit done on that show.
Do you notice how Chelsea Green wasn't there this week? That's why he got stuff done. There was no Chelsea, and the Green M&Ms to hold him back.
That's what it is. It's all Chelsea Green's fault. Anyway, we get a 6-pack challenge match for WrestleMania, Judgment Day versus whoever the 3 teams from Raw and 2 teams from SmackDown. I know next Monday is going to be the qualifying matches for Raw. I'm assuming qualifying for SmackDown is going to be this Friday. They got to fill something up. But what's your initial thoughts on this being that ladder match?
It's definitely a good consolation, if not better, because there's more people in the ring, more crazy spots. The tag team division is also a lot more athletic, I would say, and more better at spots than the people who have been in the mid. Actually, the IC top picture has some good spot guys. But the tag team, there's just so much more stuff that you can do. And so I'm definitely looking forward to it. I'm looking at a creative way for the titles to get split.
Yeah.
I have some creative planning in that. But I'm happy to get a ladder match at Mania. I'm happy.
Yeah.
It definitely meant for that dumb Gauntlet match. I hate the Gauntlet match. Least favorite match in wrestling history.
So my initial thoughts were, okay, cool, we get this ladder match. They're listening to the fans. But then I thought about it, and I thought, okay, well, this makes zero sense story-wise. We've spent how long? A month, 2 months building this awesome truth storyline, and I know they're in the qualifiers, and I know that they possibly could still win it, but we've sort of built this Judgment Day versus Awesome Truth storyline just for it to become what's essentially going to be a spot fest, to please the more hardcore, marky AEW style fans. I don't know. I think this is the only reason I'm excited for it is because I believe this leads to a title change or a title splitting. Excuse me, a title split, where it could be like a SmackDown team and a Raw team grab the individual belts at the same time and pull it down, and we get it split that way or something like that. I think my biggest thing, though, is these qualifying matches. The best 2 tag teams in this entire in the qualifiers are facing each other with DIY and the Creeds.
It's gonna be a banger of a match.
That's gonna be a fucking great match. But then you look at the other 2, and you got New Day versus Alpha Academy minus Chad Gable, so they couldn't even get him in WrestleMania through the tag team. And then you have Endashir versus oh shit, what is it?
You got Awesome Truth versus
Awesome
Endashir.
Truth versus Endashir, yeah. And then DIY and Creeds, and then Alpha Academy versus New Day.
Yep. I just pulled it up right now.
so I think it's gonna be New Day, Awesome Truth. I don't know how the other one's gonna end, because I could see the Creeds winning because the Creeds are fucking fantastic, but I could also see DIY because they're the spot monkeys.
And also, Creed Brothers have been on Superstars lately, or main event. They haven't been on TV in a little bit.
Yeah, which is a shame. I don't know. I just hope out of this comes a splitting of the titles. If it doesn't, it's kind of worthless to me.
So what I think happens. So I mean, I got Awesome Truth winning. I got DIY. Actually, no. Well, no, I can't do that. Then there's not enough heels. There's all like face tag teams on the Raw side. If you look at it, they're all faces,
right?
Except for Endashir. So hopefully that doesn't mean that SmackDown's gonna be full of heel tag teams.
Well, the only 2 teams I can think of, even on the roster on SmackDown, is Lashley's team with Street Profits. You have AOP, because the Good Brothers are back in NXT. I can't even think of any tag teams on SmackDown.
I thought I saw someone put the SmackDown side of things up here, but I can't find it. I mean, we'll get the SmackDown one soon, but I was definitely hoping that. Oh yeah, okay. If you look at SmackDown, I think the teams that are up for discussion are probably gonna be like pretty deadly, who will probably get a spot.
How the fuck do I forget about them? They're definitely be in the.
And I still think we get AOP versus Street Profits and all them. So I don't even think AOP or Street Profits gets in the match. I think it's gonna be pretty deadly, and maybe like Legado del Fantasma or something like that. Maybe those guys.
Legado is there.
You have LWO.
LWO's
I'm
there.
leaning towards the heels, I think.
Yeah.
You got like New Catch Republic.
Yeah.
Who might get the spot? Yeah, that's what it's looking like.
If they're in that match, they're a bunch of spot monkeys too. It's okay.
But I mean, so the way I think that the match goes down, I think R-Truth, I feel like he climbs the ladder and pulls down just the Raw tag team titles.
Okay.
And then he just thinks he wins, and he like leaves the match or whatever. And then hopefully someone else grabs the SmackDown titles. I'm hoping they get split at Mania.
Right. If it doesn't lead to a split, I feel like this whole thing is kind of worthless, to be honest.
Yeah. Also, I feel like the ladder match is the perfect chance to like split it. All you got to do is have two separate teams go up there, grab titles at the same time, and then just fall to the mat. I think it's the easiest way to split them.
Right. Absolutely. So let's move on to this Gauntlet match that was on Monday Night Raw. So we start this match off with JD McDonough versus Ricochet. And they put on what was a decent match. It was a banger. It was pretty good.
They're both really good wrestlers.
We kind of figured, these get the two guys we know aren't going to win out of the way.
Yeah.
Ricochet defeats McDonough, but he gets his ribs crushed. And so out comes Big Bronson Reed. And like logic sort of demands, he destroys Ricochet. Yeah. Like if Ricochet, after what he went through with McDonough, put it any offense, it makes no sense. Then out comes Sami Zayn. And this motherfucker with the softest pin on Bronson Reed I've ever seen in my life. That's where I want to know your first response to this. Bronson Reed eliminated by...
I'm not gonna lie.
Sammy.
I didn't want to watch this match in the first place. Okay, I only watched it because I got a podcast to attend to. You know what I'm saying? This match, I did not want to watch this Gauntlet match. I wanted a ladder match for the IC Championship. That's what I wanted. Not too much to ask for. Or at the very least, you could have gave me a 6-pack challenge or a 6-way match to determine number 1 contender. I would have been super happy. Not this stupid Gauntlet match. All right, and so. Yeah, so we got Sami Zayn. He pins Bronson Reed, and I'm like, oh crap! Please, I'm not. I don't want to see the Sami push. Like I'm not trying to hate on Sami. Like he had a great past 2 years. Like he was doing his thing, but when he came back at number 30 for the Royal Rumble, all the win was up the sales. I was not a fan of that decision. I want to see new talent at the top of the card. Sammy's already what, a 2 or 3-time Intercontinental champion,
something like that. Yeah.
And when he had the title, he didn't really do much for it. When he was on SmackDown, he didn't do much with the title. So I don't see him beating Gunther. Okay, Bronson Reed is a more believable guy to beat Gunther. You know what I'm saying? Because Gunther has rarely faced a big guy so far. He's faced a bunch of cruiserweights essentially.
Right.
And so I would like to see Bronson Reed. But if you're not going to be Bronson Reed, I want to see him and Chad Gable run it back and have a banger.
Right.
Because I want somebody who needs that push, who needs that IC title to get some spotlight. I feel like Chad Gable winning the IC title at WrestleMania would have been icing on the cake, would have been a great moment. I'm not saying Chad Gable has to go on a 5-6 month title reign.
Right.
But let this man shine a little bit. He put in the work. He overcame Shorty G, for God's sake.
Right. So here's my thought on it. I believe this should have been Bronson Reed. Without a doubt, he's the only one in this little circle here that I don't think has ever faced Gunther for the title. And it just feels like they build him up as this strong monster, but they never really push him over the edge.
Yeah.
But then the whole storytelling of Sammy, listen to me. I like you. You're a good guy. This is nothing personal. I only tolerated you the last 2 years because you were in the Bloodline story. Please leave. Never come back. Which is crazy because I liked Sami Zayn when he got here, but I don't care about him anymore. This little whiny gimmick, I have to be on WrestleMania. No, you don't. Let Chad Gable get his. We have this whole story. They literally filmed a promo for Chad Gable just to not do anything with it. Now it looks like they're gonna use this whole his shoulders weren't on the mat type thing, and I'm assuming it's gonna be a triple threat now. I'm assuming that's the story.
If that's it, I'm okay.
Which I'll be okay with that. I don't know, but the way it stands now, Sami Zayn better get squashed. I don't want to see anything more than about 30 seconds of this match at WrestleMania.
Would you rather them run a triple threat match or have them Zayn versus Gable run it back on Raw and then Gable goes over? Or do you think that's just too much of a long about way to get Gable in the picture?
I'd rather actually. I want to keep it a singles match. I'm not a big fan of them throwing in these random triple threats on Mania just to get more people on the card. Because that's what the 6-pack challenge is for the tags anyway, is to get all the people on the card. And I'm of the opinion you have to earn your spot. You shouldn't. Not everyone shouldn't be on Mania. I've been a big proponent of this. Mania should be like 8 matches and that's it. And you should earn your spot one night and that's it. I get why they do the 2 matches or the 2 nights because it's more ad money. But I'm of the sort of more old school perspective that if you want to make it to WrestleMania, you have from May of the year prior to Mania to prove why you should be on Mania that year. And I don't know. I feel like this just like everyone gets a match type thing is kind of making Mania. It's not less important, but it feels too crowded at times.
I'm personally okay with the lower talents getting the multi-man matches. I don't want my world title pictures logged up with triple threats and fail 4-ways.
Right.
But I'm okay with the lower cards getting the multi-man matches.
Right.
Speaking of multi-man matches, what are your thoughts on the women's picture on Raw? Do we think Liv somehow sneaks her way into Mania?
No. She shouldn't. They might because of I have this feeling, and we're going to talk about the IWC here in a minute, but the IWC has this way of sort of like boycotting, and not really boycotting because they still go to the shows, but like voicing their opinion that WWE sort of panics. And so this sort of like we want Liv movement starting on the internet, and no one actually wants Liv Morgan in this match that actually watches the product and isn't a fan of AEW. And that's all it is. It's the AEW fans complaining because Liv Morgan isn't going over. But her character's so annoying. I don't know.
I mean, to be honest, people don't even want the match that's happening. People wanted Rhea versus Bianca. That's what we really wanted. I know you're a Becky fan, but we really wanted Rhea versus Bianca.
Yeah. We wanted. I think we wanted Rhea versus Bianca because that's what they've been teasing for the longest. But if we're realistic with the way the brands are, like we weren't gonna get Rhea versus Bianca because they're on separate brands, and Bianca isn't gonna pull the Cody Rhodes and jump show. So I don't know.
So what do you think Liv does for Mania? Do you think she's just in catering, or do you think they put her in a match against Nia or something?
Part of me believes that they're going to bring back. They're not going to call it the
Mae Young Battle.
They're not going to call it the Mae Young Classic because she's basically they don't. The fans don't necessarily like.
Call it the China Battle Royal.
Something like that. I don't know if they'll do all that now, but I think they may bring back some sort of battle royal or throw in some sort of, tag match. I don't know. Personally, again, just like I stated, I don't think she's been gone for like 9 months. I don't think she should be rewarded with a spot on WrestleMania. So, it's not that I don't like Liv. Again, we solve this problem if we have mid-card championships to fight for.
Yeah. Because you can do Nia versus Liv.
Yeah. I don't know. More than likely, they'll probably make it put her in it some way. She'll be involved in this match in some way, shape, or form. I don't think she should, but we'll see what happens. We got like 25 days for them to figure something out for her.
Did they make Liv a special guest referee?
No, please don't. All right. Well, let's finish this Gauntlet match. Chad Gable gets pinned by Sami Zayn. That's basically all that really matters here. I don't know. This match was boring, to be honest. It took way too long. Nothing.
Do you think they might go into a Chad Gable heel turn?
That's what I thought was going to happen at the end when like the match ended. He stayed in the ring and then like Sammy went to go hug him. I assumed like some sort of heel turn was going to happen, but then they ended the show.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I have a feel like I have a gut feeling that might happen.
Yeah. think the IC title story is done yet. I think there's still be some twists and turns, whether it be a triple threat, whether it be Chad Gable turning, or show more of an aggressive side.
Right. I just think at this point, Chad Gable's becoming the next Dolph Ziggler, in that he's the hardest worker. He does all the stupid shit that he went through Shorty G and all the comedy gimmick with Alpha Academy. He's gotten over Otis. He's gotten over Maxine, and he's got nothing really in return. And so I've always been of this mindset that just a 2-month run, just to say thank you for doing what you've done, should get that. I don't think he deserves like a world title reign in any way, shape, or form. But I mean, he's sort of the type of guy you would expect to see the IC title go to. I don't know. It's just kind of crazy that we have like the closest thing we'll ever get to Kurt Angle, and we don't do anything with him.
Very true.
Let's move forward here. AEW, what are we doing? Let's talk about it. So if you didn't watch, which I know you probably didn't, on Saturday on Collision, Mark Briscoe got put through a flaming table. Barely. And then, put on, he was on fire. Then he got put not on fire by the same people who set him on fire. And it's all laughable. And Wavy D showed me this video and said, we got to talk about this. So I want to hear what he got to say first, so then I'll give my response.
All right. So let's see. Me personally, am I against flaming table spots? No, I'm not against them. I know I was against the Darby Allin spot off the ladder through the plane of glass. I'm against that just based off it was being sheer height. And apparently James told me that they use tempered glass, whatever that means for you. They use tempered glass, whatever that means. So supposedly it's supposed to be safer. It's supposed to be gimmick glass.
They use the gimmick glass. Either way, if you listen to that Jim Cornette thing I put in the Discord, either way, from 15 feet through 2 panes of glass and Sting going ass first through a pane of glass, tempered or not, it still went 4 rows deep.
Yeah.
And so, it could land in someone's drink. Someone may have just magically opened their mouth at the wrong time. It could have gotten in your eye. A shard to the eye, shards in skin. Like, it's still stupid whether it's tempered glass or not.
Yeah. So even though I hate the Darby spot for a few reasons, I'm not necessarily against a flaming table spot. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I think Darby's spot would have been better if it was through a flaming table. But let's progress.
That would have been pretty crazy.
But as far as the flaming table spot, I just think it looked very poor. It looked very bad. It looked very rushed. First of all, what's her name? Who's there?
Julia Hart.
Julia Hart barely got the table lit on fire in time.
She poured like 2 drops of fucking lighter fluid on it.
Yes, she struggled to light it. It barely got lit on fire in time. And then they give like a half-hearted power bomb. It wasn't like off the apron. The guy was standing on the apron. They got him while they're staying on the outside, and then gave him a half-hard power bomb through the table, which barely broke. And then after they put him through the table, you could see them be like, "Oh shit, he's on fire," and try to put him out. It's like, I understand that, like, human nature, and you're not trying to actually kill your opponent. That you might be like, oh my god, let me help him out, but then like you ruin the illusion. So it's like, if you can't commit to the illusion,
right? Don't do
the illusion.
Well, my response to that is, there's a reason when Kane went and caught himself on fire, he would wear full body suits so he wouldn't actually be on fire.
Yes.
Or when JR got lit on fire, there was a reason why he was head to toe covered in clothing. He had a fire retardant suit underneath his so he wouldn't actually catch on fire.
Yes. And it was taped backstage.
Right.
Mick Foley and Edge.
Right. This whole fucking thing, it made it look so not even indie. Like this is worse
Sloppy.
than indie. This is backyard wrestling type shit. It literally, if you guys haven't looked at it, Tennessee Backyard Wrestling, go find them on YouTube. And I mean, it's hilarious and it's entertaining in the way that you just sort of laugh at how fucking awful it is. But like this reminded me of that. Like you said, barely got the table lit, barely put him through it. 2 seconds after he gets lit on fire, the bad guys who's supposed to tell him the story that you wanted him on fire, now are putting him out of fire or putting him putting the fire out. Like, what's the point here? Like,
and so I'm at the point where I'm not even blaming Tony Khan anymore.
Right. So
I'm blaming the wrestlers. Okay.
So like, you beat me to my question. Yep, you beat me to my question. Is this Tony? Who's to blame here? You're saying the wrestlers, and why?
I'm blaming wrestlers, and also I'm blaming the producers because, correct me if I'm wrong, I didn't see someone nearby with a fire extinguisher just in case the spot went wrong. I didn't see that. I could be mistaken. I go back and watch the clip.
I don't remember seeing it, but I'm certain someone was there. They had to have been.
Because like, correct me if I'm wrong. During the Edge and Foley match, didn't he get the fire extinguisher to the back right away?
Yeah,
like he got fire extinguishers right to the back right away during that spot. Now, and also you're performing this on free TV on a Saturday that nobody watches. Sorry, not nobody. That little people watch, not little people. That a small number of people watch.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my little people out there. You know what I'm saying? All heights matter. Yeah. So it's like you're doing some free TV on Saturday. Tony Khan, I've just come to realize he's just a fan with money. Like he's a wrestling fan with money. He's a IWC guy with money. You know what I'm saying? So I'm done expecting stuff from him because like he doesn't want to take advantage and run stuff professionally to a certain point where he can become really mainstream. I get it. You guys love your indie style wrestling. You love it. You love your niche product. You love the alternative. But like, don't at the same time say that you want to have all these TV deals, all these streaming deals, but like you're not producing. You're producing a subpar product.
Right.
Like you want the glitz and the glamour and the benefits of having a number one like wrestling product, but you're producing subpar content. And I'm just past the point where I'm blaming Tony Khan. I'm blaming the wrestlers because at this point you're doing like all this stuff unnecessarily, and you're just doing spots just for doing spots. Also, you guys no sell every other move. Like I was talking to James in the Discord, like we had disagreement over this, but I was like, the Canadian Destroyer used to be one of the best finishing moves that shout out Pete Williams. That he it was the best finisher that I saw, and I'll get to my wrestler on like SmackDown vs. Raw 2009 or whatever. I was giving it to my wrestler. Now these guys are doing Canadian stories every other match. It feels like a wrestler has it in their arsenal, and like James is arguing that it's part of their regular moveset, it's not their finisher. But I'm like, you're turning what was once an incredible finisher now to a regular move. It's just, and then he brought up the same thing about a clothesline, like JBL does clothesline really well, so it's a finisher, but it's like. A clothesline and a super kick are very different than a Canadian Destroyer, in my opinion.
Right. But
even those are overused.
Right. Even then, like, when JBL did the clothesline from hell, it wasn't just a normal clothesline.
Yeah.
It was like it was either
stiff.
It was but he not only did he send his opponent off the ropes, he went off the ropes as well. And then he also had a version. Didn't he have a version where like it was he like did like a discus lariat as well?
Threw himself flying, yeah. He threw himself.
And so like it wasn't just like it's not like he just did a normal clothesline. Yeah,
and like the main part, it's not even all about every other wrestler doing the move. It's every other wrestler doing the move, and then their opponent no sells it.
It's every single match though,
and then no sell it half the time.
Right. So. On this topic for me, who's to blame? I still put some blame on Tony Khan. You're the boss. I've created this little sub character that Tony's afraid to be. Big balls Tony. We're never going to see him. He doesn't exist except in the minds of of my imagination. But if Tony Khan just grew a pair and said, guys, we're not going to put ourselves through glass in a retirement match where we might kill the guy we're trying to retire. Hey, Darby, you're not going to go through glass where one wrong movement and your carotid artery split and we have a live murder on a pay-per-view. Right? In the same match and where Tony Khan goes in and gets permission to see if Sting could go down from the ceiling. He gets permission from Owen Hart's wife. I'm assuming that idea got nixed because he didn't come from the ceiling. Yeah. But in that same match where you go and ask for permission for that, you're going to go and try to kill Darby Allin? So you have to put some blame on Tony Khan. But I'm with you. Some of the blame has to go on the wrestlers. Y'all got to learn, and I know you're not the biggest fan of Vince Russo, but he has
Vince Russo.
He has this phrase where you got to protect your business, right? You guys got to not only protect the business itself and stop making it look fucking dirt show, backyard mud show wrestling, but you got to protect yourself and your body, and don't put out poor shit because you make everyone else look bad. But I think there's a third person we have to blame, and that's the fans, because the wrestlers would stop doing this shit if the fans would stop applauding it. Okay. If the fans would just tell people in the business, we don't like this, they would stop doing it.
Well, the fans like it. That's their problem.
Right. And so the problem is AEW has a bunch of fans that they thrive off of their bloodlust. They want to see people bleed. They want to see people caught on fire. And they want to see people doing all this dangerous shit and almost coming split seconds from death. And I'm not saying it's all the fans, but there's a section of the fan base who, as long as they're entertained, Darby Allin could die in the ring and they wouldn't really care. I truly believe that. I have the same opinion on Darby Allin that Jim Cornette has, but that's a whole 10-minute spiel that he gave on his podcast. He went off on Darby.
I still have to watch that clip. I watch Jim Cornette. Yeah. Or not watch. I listen to him quite frequently, probably 4 times a week. I listen to his clips.
He went off on Darby. That clip that I sent in the Discord, he went off on Darby, and I laughed my ass off because I feel the same way about Darby. In
rebuttal, I would blame the wrestlers more because so everyone knows that the wrestlers have pretty much all to say as far as how their matches are constructed and go in AEW. So that was one of the main things that that backstage and Tony was saying about Sting was that, or even Jim Cornette was saying about Sting during his time working, that Sting was very easygoing. Sting didn't care if he lost or won the match. Like, he was just there to wrestle. He was there to get money. He didn't care if he won or lost. He went down with any, he was with any promotion, with any promoting idea, with any booking idea. But a lot of wrestlers in AEW now, from reports, is just that a lot of them are just straight up denying storylines, denying certain matches, denying outcomes, and I'm not sure producer putting the matches together. I think wrestlers are just putting their matches together at this point. They're just, I don't know. And from the hardcore fans who say that we don't need a soap opera to tell us a story, watch the story in the ring. What kind of story? I don't like.
They're not even telling us. They're not even telling us stories in the ring though.
Yeah,
if they were
stories,
because the people who sort of use that excuse sort of use it to defend New Japan, because New Japan sort of does this thing where it's 2 people and one injures their knee in one of the matches, and then so match number 2, the opponent targets the knee, and they tell us somewhat of a story through the actual match itself. But AEW is not even doing that. They're just putting on indie matches that have and this has been my complaint since day one. When you put together people who have zero experience in television wrestling, there's a big difference from WWE style wrestling to the indies. How you work the camera, how you work the crowd, the story you tell. if you put a bunch of people who have zero experience, and as we found out when CM Punk got there, zero will to listen to someone who has that experience, you're going to get a shit product. You're just if you're not willing to listen to CM Punk, if you're not willing to listen to Big Show and Mark Henry and all the people back there,
Dustin Rhodes,
right? Like, what are you like? Why are you here? Like, and this is my thing. A lot of people are like, well, when's Omega coming to WWE? Never. He'll never go to WWE. Hangman Page will never go to WWE. They're fine where they're at because they get to make the decisions. They're fine, they get to make their matches, and we see the result we get from them.
I will say though, I do think hell has frozen over because I'm about to give a compliment to the Young Bucks.
Oh shit, hell has frozen over.
I will say I will give the Young Bucks a little bit of props because I do like their heel authority figure gimmick. All right, because I do think that they're assholes and jerks, and now they're playing it on TV, which I definitely appreciate.
They are playing into their
personas or perceived personas.
Right, they're the way that people perceive them on the internet, how we sort of like the casual fan perceives the Young Bucks. They are sort of doing a little rib at us, and it is pretty entertaining, but I don't know. I'm just not a big fan of the Young Bucks.
I don't know if you caught on to what they did when Omega came out, and like he did like the 2-way like handshake, like facing the hard cam and smiling. I like they did a little poke at us. I thought that one was kind of clever, so I'll give the Young Bucks a little bit of props.
I don't know if I can go that far. They did
a thing kind of like with Triple H. Like you saw pictures backstage every time Triple H like signs a talent. They have that signature Triple H like handshake and point picture.
Yeah,
and they kind of like took a little jab at him, and they did that. I thought that was a little bit clever. Those guys mentioned WWE in some way or fashion, but I thought that was a little clever, and I'll give Young Bucks a little bit of props.
Yeah, I mean, if it works for them, it works for them. I'm not a big fan of them either way. So we'll move on to what are your current thoughts on the current Hall of Fame class of Paul Heyman? We have the U.S. Express, which for those who don't know, that's Barry Windham and Mike Rotunda, which is Bray Wyatt's dad. We have Bull Nakano, which is a female wrestler out of Japan, wrestled in WCW, I think, in the 90s. And then we just had Muhammad Ali announced yesterday. What's your thoughts on this, and do you think they add more to the class?
So for me personally, like I don't really have too much info on the U.S. Express. Like I know it was Bray's family. It's cool that they're getting in. I know the name just throughout just talking to heads, like and watching like documentaries and like the greatest tag teams of all time, or whatever. These guys get a lot of mentions. So I know the name. And so I guess, knowing the name, being like a household name as far as wrestling is concerned, like, that's a plus. Bull Nakano, don't know anything about her. Japanese wrestler, came to see, I don't know anything about her personally. Muhammad Ali, he did a little work with, what was it, WrestleMania 1 or 2? Which one was he like special guest?
I think he was the ref at 1, WrestleMania 1.
And, he did a little bit stuff with WWE early on. I mean, outside of Paul Heyman, I'm not gonna lie, this class ain't really doing it for me so far. Like me personally, as far as like my fandom.
So right,
it's not doing anything for me personally.
I knew. So when they announced that Triple H had complete control of the Hall of Fame, I knew exactly what his strategy was going to be. We're satisfying the marks. We're satisfying the people who are like Cody, who have like the wrestling history knowledge. That's what we're going to do. And so, and then when Bull Nakano gets announced, to me, this is just a way to keep a foot in the door in Japan for a potential business opportunity. Does she deserve to go in? Personally, you look at her resume, she's like a one-time champion and that's it in WCW. She doesn't really scream Hall of Famer. I just think women's wrestling in the 90s in particular, there's not a lot to choose from. And when you're trying to work to get something in Japan and to keep that relationship open, to me, this just feels like a little a gimmick to keep that relationship open. I'm glad she's in it. The marks are going to mark out about, when she does her speech. But I'm going to be honest, the only person I care about on this list is Paul Heyman.
Exactly.
like this is the only person that needed to happen in Philadelphia was Paul Heyman. So my question is, does Bray Wyatt get in? And does Batista get in? Because those are the two other names. And my fear is, if you do that, they get overshadowed by Paul Heyman. Because Paul Heyman's got stories for days. You could literally just give Paul Heyman the full 2 hours of the ceremony. And that's all people will care about. So, do you think they add someone like a Bray Wyatt?
I hope not. I mean, I feel like
we're on the same page then.
Like, at least give it another year. But like, I mean, if you look back, Bray, he's a multi-time world champion. So it's like he was a scrub. I was saying he didn't have the best title reigns. You know what I'm saying?
I have a different opinion on him though. How many failed gimmicks did he have?
I don't know if I'll call it failed. I would call it like he wasn't pushed the right way. I wouldn't call it failed because he was definitely over with the fans.
I think he was over. I think he was over with a small segment of the fans. But someone like me, other than the cult gimmick, I didn't care about the Fiend all that much. It didn't.
Oh no, I mean, same. I like the Fiend, but like the cult gimmick was good. The Fiend, I wasn't super fond of just because like I was kind of past the supernatural stuff at that point.
Right.
I mean, was it entertaining TV? Sure, but
right. So to me, Husky Harris fail. The cult gimmick was fine. The Fiend, it was cool for a minute, for like 2 seconds. He came out, it was fine, but nothing really came of it. Of like, why is this dude schizophrenic and has a alter personality? Nothing was really, no answers were given. And then he gets fired, he comes back, and we get 6 months of QR codes with nothing, no storytelling whatsoever, and a bad promo match for Mountain Dew. And
the part that really hurt was that his character, like, especially the Fiend character, it was really hard, almost impossible to incorporate into a good match.
Right, and then you have it get squashed by Goldberg, and it just loses all fucking.
And then the Hell in a Cell like thing with Seth Rollins was also a killer, a gimmick killer.
Yeah. And they leaned in pretty good with like he needed more cinematic shit.
Yeah.
The match he did with Cena at Mania during COVID was perfect. It fit the gimmick. I felt that they felt that he needed more space in the title picture, and his gimmick didn't call for that.
Yeah.
And so if they focused, I still think WWE needs to do more cinematic stuff. I think that that would be pretty fun for someone like a Joe Gacy to get cinematic segments where he's, in like an asylum and freaking out all the time. And
the main problem, in my opinion, like with the cinematic matches, is that like, of course, people at home watching it's cool, but like when you're like at the arena and you have to sit and watch the Jumbotron for 20 minutes just to see the segment. So I mean, if you release it on its own, I know you're saying, you're a big proponent of like wrestling.
If you sit as high as I sit every time I go to wrestling events, I'm looking at the Jumbotron the whole show. So,
and I also know you're a big proponent of like, wrestling is meant for the fans at home. You know what I'm saying?
It's not even.
For WWE as far.
It's not even that it's just for the fans at home. I'm more of I realize that the product is meant for TV.
Yeah.
And so it is a TV show at the end of the day, and we're a live audience that we have to play our role in the TV show. In a similar way that, the NFL is, going to a live NFL game is fun, but we have to understand the cameras and all of that shit. That's for the TV audience. So, I get what you're saying with the cinematic. I just think the cinematic stuff is just, it's cool. It's a way to tell stories. For if we're going to incorporate supernatural gimmicks, you have to find a way to incorporate it that makes sense. And the only way I feel you can do that is, through the cinematic stuff.
I feel like the Fiend's character was past its time.
While we're on
I
this,
feel like the Fiend came out in the 90s, early 2000s,
yeah.
be a lot better.
I also think the problem with the Fiend is that Vince McMahon took control of it, and he tried to book it like it was the 90s.
Yeah.
I don't know if you heard Top Dollar talk about this, but there was when Bray returned.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah.
His little pitch of him stealing the dollars and they start like winning, but then Bray destroys them, type thing. That, I don't know. That felt like a good idea to me. I'm telling y'all, if they would have just booked Top Dollar to not look like a giant buffoon, he would be fucking tag champion today. But
my issue with Top Dollar was just that he was just not like, he wasn't enough of a big man, and he just looked small compared to the big men. He was like stuck in no man's land. Like, he wasn't a cruiserweight, but he wasn't a big man. He was kind of stuck in a weird stage. Where, like, he wasn't Big Show or Omos, but he wasn't
right
like a Seth or a Roman, like he was just stuck in a weird spot.
Speaking of Roman Reigns, these fans trying to cancel our tribal chief.
Not here.
And I'm not going to stand for it. Now,
not my watch.
Now, I'm going to go ahead and just forewarn everyone, Friday's episode, I'm going to get very, very in my feelings on this particular topic. So I'm going to sort of hold back my thoughts and just let Wavy D here go on his soapbox for a minute, because y'all get to hear me speak on Friday, and I'm going to say some things that I don't want to get Wavy D canceled. I'm already canceled from TikTok. So, the Wrestle Talk community canceled me a year ago. So I don't care what they think about what I got to say. But, I don't need the rant with him here. He's going to go ahead on his soapbox because he's the one that he wanted to talk about this.
All
right. But let me set it up real quick. I didn't watch SmackDown Live on Friday. I had other things I was doing. And I saw him posting the CWC Discord. I hope the fans don't try to cancel Roman for saying cross-dresser. And I saw that at like 11. And so the first thing I did was get on X. And lo and behold, they're trying to cancel Roman Reigns for saying cross-dresser. Oh my God. So now that we know that, let's see what Wavy D got to say. I'll give some response.
I swear. It's literally like I could read y'all minds, bro. As soon as that was said, I laughed. I was like, ha. And I was like, oh. They're going to try to cancel my boy now. I was like, okay, first of all, y'all IWC folk, all right? Not all y'all, but a good portion of y'all are some hypocritical snowflake crybabies, okay? For example, you guys are so okay with Christian Cage talking about everybody's dead father, okay?
Right.
They're so okay with it. And then as soon as, even before we get to Roman, what's her name? Candice LeRae was doing an in-ring segment with Maxine during the match. And y'all are like, oh, did that father line go too far? Brother line go too far? Meanwhile, Christian's whole gimmick is talk about people's dead fathers. And then you guys complain that you guys want the 90s, you want the 2000s, you want the Attitude Era back. You want Attitude Era this, Attitude Era that. Roman Reigns says one thing about, like, you're listening to his cross-dresser referring to Seth Rollins, and you guys are up in you got your panties in a bunch. Like, you can't have your cake and eat it too. Like, you guys aren't gonna last. If you say you want the Attitude Era, you want all this stuff, you get one small taste of what could be it, and you guys are ready to cancel the tribal chief. And also, you guys forget about all the times where Roman was doing a promo about Seth, and you're first to Seth about someone who wears his wife's clothing. So it's not the first time Roman has talked about the way Seth dresses. Does Seth dress like flamboyant and like expressive and extra and too much-ish? Yes, sure. Like, does he dress peacockish? Yes, he dresses peacockish. Like, oh my God. You guys are acting like he used like some outdated like trans slur. Like, no, he literally just said that Seth was a crossdresser. But you're okay with like The Rock coming back, and I don't know. The Rock just says whatever The Rock says. The Rock was calling like the whole state crackheads and like meth addicts.
Right, literally the week before. Literally the week before, he literally told them to go smoke crack.
Yes,
and no one complained.
And The Rock was talking about like 22 inches of holy moly or whatever, which he was talking about his muscles, his arms or whatever. But he was like, get your mouth together. The Rock's not talking about his whatever he referred to his penis as. I forget what he referred to it as. But like, you're okay with The Rock coming over and saying all this wild stuff because it low-key reminds you, quote unquote, of the Attitude Era. But Roman says one thing about crossdresser, you guys are up in arms. Like, come on now. You guys, you pick and choose on when you guys want to be social justice warriors and snowflakes. It's like, it's one thing if they had, like, if Roman straight up was saying some wild stuff.
Right.
And mind you, there's also the same IWC who hates on Bianca because she's on the cover of the video game, and you have members of your community who straight up blatantly say that they want her up there because she's black, or she went up there because she's black. So you have blatant racist members of the IWC, but then you have other members of the IWC who are crybaby snowflakes, who they praise The Rock for saying some bullshit, but then come after Roman for saying less bullshit. Like, right. That's telling lies.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, I don't even want to call them snowflakes because The Rock gave us a term for them. These are the Cody crybabies. The same people that we want Cody, but you're gonna cancel our tribal chief. Like, y'all really trying to get, I'm gonna save all the sort of explicit stuff for Friday. This comes down to they hate Roman Reigns. That's all it comes down to. Roman Reigns could say the most PG promo ever, and they would still find a way to hate on him.
Sucker and succotage.
Right. They could try to find a way to
which he said.
Right. That was the worst promo ever. But yeah, I mean, Roman Reigns could come out here and just do a normal promo, and they'd find a way to shit on him. They've been doing it for 3 years. They want him gone. They don't want him here. And The Rock coming back and taking the spotlight again hurts their feelings. They don't understand the business. They don't understand how much money this match is going to make with The Rock. And so at the end of the day, that's all this comes down to. And that's where I'll leave it until Friday. So we're going to jump into some questions here. I'm going to start with one that I have. Was I correct in saying that LA Knight was flavor of the month based on his current booking in WWE? What do you think?
I'll give you half right. I still don't think I still think he's like must book weekly. I feel like you need to have him on your show every week in some form or fashion. I think LA Knight would benefit more if he was on Monday Night Raw. Just because SmackDown, until the Bloodline stuff is over, the main event picture is just clogged up with whoever's facing the Bloodline. So, like, if you want more LA Knight and you want to be involved with more superstars and more storylines, I'll put on Monday Night Raw. I was never a huge fan of his wrestling moveset as far as his charisma and his mic skills. LA Knight's entertaining. You know what I'm saying? I think he's very charismatic. I do think he got pushed into that world title picture too fast. As far as his match in Saudi Arabia, I think he got pushed into that too fast. I think they should maybe hold off until like Royal Rumble or whatever it was. But yeah, I think LA got pushed too fast. As far as flavor of the month, what was the decision not to put the title on him? Correct? Yes, don't put the title on him. But I think he should have got the U.S. title. I think he should have carried that around for a little bit. So flavor of the month, as in like he got pushed for a little bit and he can't sustain a push or he can't sustain popularity. I think that's a little bit wrong. I think he could sustain his popularity and his connection with the fans. But as far as being pushed into the universal title picture, I think that was just a flavor of the month. So I kind of half agree.
I feel you. So my thinking on this is the fans sort of tried to make him essentially what Cody Rhodes is now, this sort of like yes movement type guy. And he got popular, and I've always said that WWE does not like when people get popular outside of the machine. They did it to Rusev, they did it to Ziggler, they did it to to Kofi, Zack Ryder. If you get canceled, or if you get canceled, and if you get famous outside of that, the machine of WWE, his current booking, and I understand the whole Cody Roman thing is basically taking up the whole show of SmackDown at this point. I just don't know, like, he's going nowhere, and so to me, I felt like WWE saw 2-3 months worth of merch sales, and they tried to cash in on it, and just now they're just going to book him normal. He's going to stay where he's at. I don't really necessarily see anything coming out of what he is. I'm happy for him. He's basically going to be the next, or one of the next Dolph Zigglers. He's going to sit in catering every now and then. But hey, he got some money out of it. So if he can continue, selling merch and doing all that, good for him. I just don't see anything coming out of the rest of his career, to be honest with you.
I mean, at least he worked his way into a Mania match. He's going to be facing AJ Styles, probably, most likely.
That is true.
Most definitely.
So we're moving on. This is from the Discord. B-Master asked this one: who do you think is the best ever Russian wrestler? I'm going to go first on this one. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't even know any Russian wrestlers. I think now is Ilya Dragunov. That's the only person I can really think of that represents Russia. But, I mean, Nikita Koloff, that's the only person I can think of. I'm in the Carolinas. He got popular here with Jim Crockett Promotions. So, that's the only guy I can really think of.
There's only 2 correct answers, okay?
All right. What are those?
Number 1 is Russian adjacent. All right, is the boy Rusev. All right, he's Russian adjacent. He's Bulgarian or whatever.
They booked him from Russia when he first started.
And then they switched it to the Bulgarian. Is Bulgaria part of Russia? I'm not great.
It was at one point, but so he's from Bulgaria, but they pushed him as Russian because Russia versus US at the time, because he was facing Cena.
Yeah, it sells more. It sells better. Now the real number 1 answer is the greatest Russian wrestler of all time is the boy Kozlov. Okay, I don't know if y'all remember the boy Kozlov from the 2010s ish. You know what I'm saying, like 2008 till 2014 or whatever, 2015. My boy Kozlov, when he first came into business, was a no nonsense, ironclad, like grizzly killer. Okay. And then he got a little comedy tag team, my boy Santino Marella. Now he's an actor now. Mm-hmm. He's doing some good work as an actor. But Kozlov, for y'all youngins, or you know what I'm saying, y'all youngins who didn't watch it, or y'all old heads who stopped watching, Kozlov was that boy. It's a great dancer too.
Next question: would you bring back either the NXT Women's Tag Team Championships or add a secondary mid-card title for Raw and SmackDown in the women's division? Which one would you prefer?
Give me the NXT women's tag titles.
Ooh, okay.
I'll take that before the mid-cards, because right now you have kind of like you have the NXT Women's Tag Team division, which is almost a little bit non-existent right now because they got their tag team titles taken away, and they're kind of they're fused with the main roster tag titles,
right?
And they got the Women's Tag Team division, which isn't the strongest right now, but you do have a few decent tag teams. But right now, like they're being booked for a match on Raw, a match on SmackDown, a match on NXT, but then it makes the NXT match pointless because you're like, well, they're not going to win. They're not going to lose that match because they have a match on Friday.
Right.
So I would give the NXT women's back their tag team titles, and then we can worry about the mid card titles.
I think we could do both at the same time, but if I had to pick one, I'm with you. NXT just needs their tag team titles back. Moving forward, next question. Let's see here. Where did it go? There. Who would you like to see come back from any era to wrestle now? It could be a male or a female. Any wrestler you'd like to come see back and wrestle today.
Hey, you go first. I gotta think about this one. I overlooked this question. I didn't see this one.
I'm gonna go female here because I think it's a cop out to be like, oh yeah, I want to see Hulk Hogan. Like, I think seeing someone like Lita or Trish in their prime, like not the old like 50-year-old version, but like prime Lita in this current women's division. I think that would be fire.
I'm about to get a lot of hate. I don't think Lita was that good back in the 2000s. I'm about to get a lot of hate. I don't think
Wavy D about to get canceled from the show. No, I'm kidding,
bro. I'm about to get, I don't think Lita and Trish were that good back in the 2000s. Like they were just good compared to their competition. But
okay, you're right.
Compared to the women that we have now, the wrestlers we have now. Thank you for being like the trailblazers
right.
and kind of setting the way. But like I'm not gonna hold you. Like I don't think if you took like 2003 Lita and like put her in today's today's wrestling world, you just kind of picked her up and brought her over. Mm-hmm. I don't think she could lace Charlotte's boots, bro. Like
Charlotte's a fucking beast, dude. She's already out of a fucking
Charlotte's
knee brace.
Charlotte's the greatest women's wrestler of all time. Okay, that's is that a hot take? I think Charlotte's the greatest women's wrestler of all time.
It is. I think.
I know I'm a big Asuka fan. Asuka's up there.
First off, you cheating on your girl. I'm gonna tell her.
Charlotte is the best women's wrestler of all time.
I don't know. I think Charlotte's been surpassed, but
by who?
Becky, dude.
No. Okay. This would be a debate for another show. But Charlotte is the best of the four horsewomen. Charlotte is the greatest women's wrestler of all time. She's better than the likes of Gail Kim. She's better than the likes of Mickie James, Paige, AJ Lee, all these people that you want to put out on this possible Mount Rushmore. Charlotte Flair is better than all these women.
You ain't naming Becky Lynch.
She's better than Becky Lynch. She's better than Becky. She's better than Bayley. Better than Sasha. Even Bianca's better than Bayley. Better than Sasha. Better than Becky and Bayley.
Oof.
Rhea's better than the three of them. Like, what are we talking about right now?
Man, you killing me.
No, what are we talking about right now?
Becky Lynch, man.
Becky's not even top 5 on the women's roster right now. She's not even top 5.
Ooh.
If we're being serious right now,
bro, someone come take a trip to Connecticut with me. We got to set him straight.
Yo, okay, so here's the top 5 currently in the women's as far as WWE roster. You got Charlotte, Rhea, Bianca. Asuka.
Okay. Becky.
Does Becky sell in at 5? I guess Becky sells at 5.
I'm not saying she's the best right now because obviously Rhea and Bianca are the top ones in the division, but of all time.
Oh, you're right. I'm putting Bayley over Becky. All right, so yeah, Becky's outside the top 5. All right, it goes Charlotte, Rhea, Bianca, Asuka, Bayley, Becky.
Bro, see, the reason I don't respect Charlotte Flair's titles is because her and Sasha were playing hot potato with that son of a bitch every single week on Monday Night Raw.
How come Becky wasn't playing hot potato? Because she couldn't make it yet. She wasn't it yet. All right, she
held it for so fucking long.
Becky is only a thing. Becky is only quote unquote the man because Nia punched her in her face. Okay, that's the reason Becky is the man.
Ooh, man. Man.
And now, if we want to be even more serious, we have another talk. All right, outside, okay. But before I get too carried away, Becky, You are a great wrestler. You know what I'm saying? Great. You know what I'm saying? You're a prototypical promo doer. You know what I'm saying? You're definitely an above average wrestler. You're borderline great. You're a top 10 wrestler, female wrestler all time. But let's be honest now. Does Becky get the push that Becky gets and the time that Becky gets if, one, she didn't have that amazing picture with the bloody nose in the crowd, and B, she wasn't married to who she married to?
So you're saying she Triple H?
That's
crazy because Triple H is my favorite wrestler of all time.
Like, I'm about to get hate in the Discord. Guess what? I don't care. I'm about to get hate on TikTok. I don't care. Becky is not top 5 on the roster right now. And she about to get passed by Tiffany Stratton pretty soon.
Look, I don't think she's like top 3 on the roster right now, but of all time, I think she has an argument for number 1.
Now, if you want to include people outside of WWE, I'm pretty sure Gail Kim's still better than her. Let's see.
Right now, you think Gail Kim is better than Becky Lynch right now? At 50 years old,
she can definitely hold her own. All time. Gail Kim's above Becky. All time, Gail Kim above Becky. Gail Kim. Now, Gail Kim. To answer your question, I would put prime Gail Kim into today's era.
I'm glad we're having this conversation because on Friday, and my top 10 is top female women's wrestlers of all time. So I'm gonna give you my top 10 list. You'll find out on Friday.
I'll send you my list so you can read to the audience. I'll send you my list.
Bro, you about to be triggered on this list. I already know it.
Yes, but to answer B-Master question, Gail Kim, take her and put her in today's wrestling. Take Gail Kim, and for the men, take I don't know, Chris Benoit. Bring him back. So Chris Benoit today. Imagine Chris Benoit versus Chad Gable. Last man standing match.
Banger. This is a Wavy D only question. Book a WrestleMania match for Asuka where she can face anyone past or present. Your dream Asuka match at WrestleMania.
Oh, my dream Asuka match at WrestleMania. We already got Asuka for Charlotte, right? At Mania?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Let's see, my dream match for Asuka. All right, okay, so if I'm considering build up and all, right? Build up and all. I want a Asuka, Kairi Sane, and Io Sky triple threat build up to WrestleMania. And I want the three of them. In a TLC match. No rules, like no holds bar, like whatever, extreme rules, triple threat match.
Okay.
Let Asuka, Kairi, and Io let them cook. All right, I want the promos all in Japanese. Okay, I want no subtitles until afterwards. I have to go to Twitter to get the subtitles. I want them just to unleash on each other in Japanese on live TV.
This boy wants AEW. No, I'm kidding.
I want to see. I want to unleash. And then, okay, this might be a little racist. Okay, no, for Asuka's entrance at Mania. All right, so I want but before Asuka comes out, we get like the thunder and like the dun, dun, dun. and then like there's like a big like almost like statuesque of like Godzilla wearing an Asuka mask, and then Asuka comes out, and then dun, 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 and then she takes off the mask, and then she go back to the basics. It's the black line across. I don't like this new face paint. I want that black line going across, and then I know she means business. Oh, and then during this build, she has Paul Heyman as a mouthpiece. For to build her up.
All right. Next one. Do you consider the U.S. and Intercontinental titles equal, or is one more important than the other? It's easy.
I thought this was a give me. The IC title is more important.
Yeah. Gunther for what 600 days now feels like. has dominated this division. He's elevated it. I've always felt like even when Miz had it, he elevated it past the U.S. Championship. I don't know. The U.S. title just has always just seemed like the lower of the lower card. And yeah, the IC title. The IC title at some point last year felt like the most important title in the company because Roman wasn't defending at the time. Seth didn't have, Mania last year, like there was no title other than Roman's. So, IC title's way more prestigious at this point. And you got Logan Paul as U.S. champion. I'm sorry, he's a pop culture icon, but he doesn't really, to me, bring much prestige to the title. Yeah. All right. The winner is going to continue with our food part.
Wow, here. You skipped right over Kara's questions.
No, I put Kara at the end because she best for last. The best question.
Oh, okay. I was about to say
best for last. Don't do me like that. No, I got Kara at the end here.
I got your back, Kara.
Rank the best rank these Pop-Tart flavors 1 through 5: strawberry, blueberry, cinnamon, brown sugar, cookies and cream, and s'mores. And then which is your favorite? I can go first if you're not ready.
Go ahead. Right. What's number one?
Number one is cinnamon brown sugar. All day.
Yeah, damn.
All day.
Brown sugar. Yeah, brown sugar's number one. Damn Skippy.
Number 2 for me of these would be strawberry.
Okay, that's my third. Blueberry is my second.
See, I'm not a big blueberry fan. I would have blueberry third. No, I would have cookies and cream third. If you take the cookies and cream Pop-Tart, stick it in the freezer, it's a dessert now. It's a dessert now.
What in the freezer? What?
Put it in the freezer. It's like an Oreo milkshake. I'm telling you, man.
You're one of those guys who puts Oreos in the microwave, don't you?
No.
Nah, you definitely one of those guys who puts the Oreos in the microwave.
No.
And you're like, it's like a little brownie.
No, my Oreos go straight from package into milk into mouth. I ain't got time for no microwave.
You're a milk dunker?
Yeah.
I feel like there's so much extra time. I don't really dunk. I take like 10 Oreos at a time, put them in a cup, put some milk in it, and then scoop it. What? What? You have an Oreo cereal?
Yeah.
No. There's only one right way to eat an Oreo. Okay.
Don't tell me you break it and take that cream out.
Exactly. You break it. You eat the cream. Okay. Pause. And then afterwards you eat the cookies by themselves.
The cookies ain't even all that good. I'm gonna be honest with you. Oreos aren't really that good.
No. Or what you do is you break it apart. You have the cream on this side. You get another Oreo, break that up, and then you make your own double stuff.
All right, we're moving on. What's your number 4?
So one was brown sugar, 2 was blueberry, 3 was strawberry, and I'd probably say s'mores and cookies and cream.
S'mores last for me. Blueberry will be 4. I don't like s'mores to begin with. I don't like marshmallows. I know I'm weird, but marshmallows like a big thing up north, though. Like they like their fluff and all that nasty shit. That nasty shit.
Yeah, when we go camping, you know what I'm saying? S'mores by the campfire.
All right. And then which one would be your favorite flavor? This is easy to me. Brown sugar all day.
Yeah, we rate the number 1.
Right.
Sorry. Fair flavor doesn't have to be on the list.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be on the. Do you have another flavor that's not mentioned?
Right. There's like an apple brown sugar, right? Or apple, like a apple cinnamon one.
Not that I know of. Cinnamon brown sugar is my favorite. Anything cinnamon is going to be my CTC is my favorite cereal. It's the best cereal out there. So
Cinnamon Toast Crunch is definitely top three.
Yeah. All right, now we're gonna get the Kara's here, and she left us with 5 questions.
Queen Kara,
the queen has spoken. Don't talk back; you're gonna get banished. Number 1, would you rather? Or these are all would you rather's. Number 1, you return.
They're multiple choice. They're not would you rather. These are multiple choice questions. They're all have 4 choices.
She titled it "Would You Rather."
That's not would you rather. That's a multiple.
Hey, don't blame me. I'm just reading.
I'm sorry, Kara, but that's multiple choice question.
hey, look, this dude's a substitute teacher. He knows about these multiple choice questions.
Exactly. I'll be teaching for the SBAC, bro. Show me the SBAC.
Would you? Okay, I guess they're not would you rather's then. But you just returned back from injury, and you have to work with any of these wrestlers. Who would you choose? This is why it's a would you rather. Who would you choose? Nia Jax, Jeff Hardy, Ryback, or Ridge Holland?
Give me Jeff Hardy, because the other three will hurt me. Jeff will hurt himself.
Give me Ryback, because just so I can punch him in the face. Like I would stiff him right in the face.
Okay, I'm not gonna hold you. I know Ryback is like a little bit of a bitch, but like I'm pretty sure he's tough enough that like he can take a stiff one from you. He'll give you a stiff one right back. I know I don't really fuck with Ryback. I don't like him, but he'll definitely I think he'll fuck you up.
I mean, I'm assuming that this is me in shape. You know, not me now, but like me in wrestling shape. That's what I was basing this question off. Anyway, number 2, congratulations on finally winning the U.S. Championship. Now you have to drop it to make a new star. Who would it be? Braun Breaker, Trick Williams, or Carmelo Hayes?
I'm dropping it to Braun Breaker because he's like the toughest of the competition. And I'm not dropping it to a scrub. You know what I'm saying? I'm dropping it to someone who has a bright future. You know what I'm saying? I think all three have bright futures.
I was about to say, right, which is why you drop it to Trick Williams.
No, I'm dropping it to Braun Breaker. You know, if I'm going to put someone over, I'm going to put someone over who's like a guaranteed can't miss. Like Braun Breaker is the closest thing to a can't miss since Brock Lesnar.
I'm dropping it to Trick.
I feel you. I'm just, you know what I'm saying? I mean, me personally, I couldn't get pinned to a guy.
But here's my caveat. Here's my caveat. That match got to have Booker T on commentary. Any Trick Williams match has to have Booker T. He basically made the gimmick.
But I'm saying Trick Williams is the most green out of the three of them. You try to lose to a rookie who's green.
Look, I got to put over a star one of these days. Melo's not going to be in the U.S. title picture for very long. Braun Breaker doesn't need to be put over. Trick Williams needs to be put over. That's how I was looking at it.
Well, Dragunov just put Trick Williams over first.
Unfortunately, he's going to have to put Tony D'Angelo over at Stand and Deliver because Trick's not a part of that match. So.
Oh, yeah, they had the Trick versus Carmelo match.
Yep.
Can't wait for that.
Number 3, would you rather let Darby Allin swanton bomb you through glass, get speared by Edge at WrestleMania 17, or thrown off Hell in a Cell by Undertaker?
The spear one, that's not the table spot, right? The table spot was like 21 or something.
I'll be honest with you, I don't even know.
Is 17 the Jeff Hardy ladder spot when Jeff Hardy was hanging on to the belt?
Let me double check.
Quick Google search.
That is Ed Spears, Jeff Hardy midair.
Right? Is that the one that he's hanging on the belt and he jumped off?
Yeah, that's the one he was hanging from the belt.
Oh, that ruins my choice. I was going to take the Flaming Table spot, but I'm not trying to hang on the title and get speared off of it. I'll take the. If we're doing tempered glass, I'll take the Darby Allin swanton through the glass because half the time he doesn't hit the opponent; he just goes through the glass himself.
I don't know. So here's my thing. None of these I would actually ever do. In fact, this is why I'm not a wrestler, because if I was, I would have in my contract nothing stupid. Like my feet are staying on the ground. I'm not elevating myself. No ladder matches. I'm too big for that shit.
You're like Otis?
Yeah, like Otis, like Omos. You don't see Omos doing. Wasn't he in Money in the Bank though? So I'll take that back.
Actually, important question. Are we talking like Mick Foley throw off top of the cell? Or are we talking like Shane McMahon throw off top of the cell? Because he was throwing like half.
I was assuming she was talking Mick Foley.
I'll do the Shane McMahon spot. He was like halfway up the cage and fell on the table.
Right.
I'm not doing the Mick Foley spot. No,
you're not doing Foley?
Nah.
If I had to pick one, I'd probably do the spear from Edge, just because I feel like, first off, I'm going nowhere near glass. Thumbtacks not a thing. You're never going to see me, if I was a wrestler, do thumbtacks or any of that dumb shit.
Like on the table, though, I mean, on the glass, you're like already laying on it. You're not like jumping off 15 feet. He's just
I
gonna
don't
land
give a
on.
fuck. I don't give a fuck. That shit. I'm not getting cut. That's the
Dar-
point.
Darby's like 95 pounds.
Okay, but when the glass shatters, I'm still getting cut, my dude.
Not really.
Oh,
Well,
well.
it depends on your ring gear. No one's saying you gotta go out in a speedo like Kaiser. You know what I'm saying? You could wear like the Kevin Owens stuff.
I still think I'd fucking end up bleeding,
Mick Foley.
and I'm just not doing that. Nah,
Why?
I'll just take the spear. Number 4, who would you rather get scorched on by the mic? The Doctor of Thugonomics, Boots to Ass Dwayne Johnson, or Pipe Bomb Punk? While you're thinking, this is a hot take. I know people are gonna get mad, but CM Punk's not really that good on the mic. I know the IWC at the time liked to make you think that he was some god on the mic, but all of that was written for him, so it's not like he came up with it. Dwayne Johnson, in my career, Rock, end it.
I'm taking John Cena because I feel like Thugonomics John Cena. Like I feel like most of the time he would rap and diss them, but at the end of the day, the people he rapped against got the better of him. In most situations. The Rock, if he goes at you, he's really because like he follows no rules. So if he wants to bury you, he'll try to bury you. And then CM Punk, his were like more authority figures. He wasn't really burying other like talent. So like I'm going with Dr. Thugonomics, John Cena. Okay. I'll diss him back. I got bars.
All right, in the last one here. Would you rather bad matches but fantastic storytelling, or mid storytelling and good matches?
So 2013 WWE or current day AEW?
Yeah.
Give me 2013 WWE. Actually, no, scratch that. Give me present day AEW. Like 2000, like that 2011 to 13 like stretch of WWE, unwatchable.
Yeah.
I'll take AEW.
Yeah, so I think I don't care how good the storytelling is if your matches are like shit. So I love storytelling, but if that storytelling, like imagine like you get to the Avengers and you sit there and they build this entire story and then you get to the action scene and it fucking sucks.
Yeah.
Like, and so if you're going to tell me this great story and then the match happens and they're fucking like botching every move and it looks bad, then the story doesn't mean anything. So yeah, I'm with you. Give me present day AEW type booking over bad ass match. Like, the matches are important as well. So then we'll end it like we always do. Thirsty Tuesday. And we're going to NXT with this one. Our 4 competitors, we got Sol Ruka, Gigi Dolan, newbie Carmen Petrovic, and Adriana Rizzo, which is part of the family. What you say? How would you rank these?
These lovely women. Number 1, give me Gigi Dolan. Number 2, give me the newbie Petrovic, whatever her name is. I like that color red on her. Give me Rizzo, whoever her name is. And then last, I take Sol Ruka. You
just hurt my feelings. I'm gonna be honest with you.
I know you're a big Sol Ruka fan, but you didn't pick the best picture of her. I'm gonna hold you.
Yeah, you're right. There wasn't very many pictures of her on the internet.
It's because she's been injured for like the whole year, 2 years,
basically. But number 1, so no, Carmen Petrovic. Petrovic number 1. I'm sorry. I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of Gigi Dolan, but when we looking at looks alone, she's number 2. Absolutely.
Gigi Dolan got the gap.
Yeah, she did.
And the hair, bro. The hair. You know, so she pulls out better than Becky.
Oh, you like the fire hair?
She pulls out better than Becky. Better than Becky though.
Number 3 is Rizzo, and I hate to do this. Sol Ruka, you're my favorite, but of these 4, you're number 4.
Honestly, I'm glad you came to your senses. You know what I'm saying?
Now, if we added Dakota Kai in this picture, she's the hottest of them all. So hotter than Asuka. Sorry, man. I just gotta say
that's
it.
crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy.
All right. Any other words?
That's crazy. You're comparing Dakota Kai, who's what? Like, is she still in her 20s or is she 30?
Nah, she like 35.
Really?
Yeah.
Hey, and Asuka's like 42, ain't she?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? She aged like fine wine. That's all I'm saying.
Anything you'd like to say before we end the show? Any other words to the IWC?
Yo, IWC, forget you. Also, tune in Friday. You know, say WeTooDeep about come through with the rants. And he about to hit you with his top 10 females of all time.
Yes,
top 10 women wrestlers.
Mm.
I'm gonna set him my list. You know, say he could tell y'all that. You know, say this way you can see the discrepancy. But
right.
Just know Becky Lynch ain't she's not top 5 on her on WWE roster. She's not top 5.
Man, all right.
She's number 5.
Man, we'll see. We'll see on Friday. Thank y'all for listening. Don't forget, if you're listening on podcasts, leave us a review. 5-star if you love it. 1 star if you hate it. You don't worry about anything in between. Hit that QR code if you're watching on YouTube. Like, share, subscribe. And we'll see y'all on Friday.
Shout out 3-star Kara.
Brother, I'm going run a wild Hulk Hogan. If I like get some moment.